Good evening, Rams. Welcome back to Local Beats. I'm Abby McPhail.
And I'm Kyra McKinley.
We have a great show planned for you tonight, starting with a look into what Rams might be hearing in world news.
Following that, we'll also get to Colorado concerts news from Abby, our new music recommendations, and the breakdown, where Abby and I will debate whether or not the Rolling Stones magazine correctly picked the top 5 artists of all time.
We also have been gifted with not just one, but 2 sit-down interviews with musicians Esteban, Morado, and the Moss. We have an exciting show ahead of us, so make sure you stay tuned for Local Beats, which is starting right now. Last Friday, Brad Paisley released a song titled Same Here, featuring Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky. With lyrics such as he prays for peace and freedom, same here, Paisley's song helps remind us of the war in Ukraine and aims to find a sense of relatability and empathy between Ukrainians and Americans.
Multiple albums are coming out in the near future. On March 23rd, Kalali Yuki, known for her hits such as After the Storm and See You Again, is releasing her project titled Red Moon and Venus. Additionally, Lana Del Rey, who made Summertime Sadness, Miley Cyrus, who made Wrecking Ball, and Macklemore, writer of the lyrical masterpiece That Is Thrift Shop, are all releasing projects this month.
Finally, The Weeknd reaches new heights on Monday. 3 days after releasing Die For You remix featuring Ariana Grande, The Weeknd, also known as Abel, became the first artist on Spotify with more than 100 million monthly listeners.
Have you ever been stuck in the middle of Texas? Did you enjoy it? If not, you share something in common with this band, who just finished out their tour with a concert here in Fort Collins. This indie group sat down to talk with me about their music and experience touring, amongst other things. Here's what they had to say.
My name's Caden. I play bass.
My name's Addison. I play guitar.
My name's Willie. I play the drums.
I'm Tyke. I play the guitar, and we're in the Moss Band.
This indie rock band just wrapped up their latest tour here in Fort Collins, Colorado. But before their visit, they played at a lot of other really cool cities as well.
Yeah, Santa Cruz was really fun. We all surfed together before, caught some good waves, a pleasure point with some old friends, and a really good show.
Was a highlight.
More importantly, Texas sucks. I'm just kidding.
No, dude, Texas is great.
He was born in
Addison's just a
Texas.
hater.
I was
And he
born
says
in
that 'cause
Texas.
I'm from Texas.
He is from Texas. No, the shows were fine. It's just big drives, you know.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you want to go to Texas? How about the middle of the biggest state in the country? And then it's like, how about tumbleweeds the whole way?
We went to Seattle and it was like 55 degrees and sunny. We went to Vancouver, Canada. It was like 50 degrees and sunny. We went to Texas and it snowed on us. It's hard to deal with.
And despite some snow in Texas, the tour has been anything but hard for the band.
Definitely get tired, but I don't know. Is it hard?
Not really.
We were kind of talking about that on the drive just barely. It's like, has it been like hard? No. I think we have like a pretty simple setup. We all get along. Everyone knows who's boss.
Me.
I think we have a good dynamic though, and I think that helps a lot.
Now, if you've ever heard the Moss's music or have been lucky enough to see them in concert, you'd know that their songs are not only energetic, but also thought-provoking.
I just want people to kind of think a little bit, like just kind of go a little introspective, but also like have fun. Like when they want to have fun, they can jump around, have fun, but they could also just sit and listen and think.
The Moss has been making a name for themselves for quite a while now, and they just finished their longest tour yet. And with that, they have some advice for aspiring musicians.
I'd say, first and foremost, cliche, make sure you pick people you like spending time with. I think we work really well because we're friends. We're kind of like this little family here. I can rely on them.
I think I take this from Shia LaBeouf. He says, "Just do it." I mean, a lot of people are like, "Yeah, I'm like trying to do this, like starting to do this," but it's like, why? We'll just do it.
They were pretty cool guys. I really enjoyed their concert, and I'm definitely going to become a very frequent listener now. And with that, guys, that's all we have for you right now. But make sure to stick around till after the break, where Abby will give us another look into Colorado concerts. Stay tuned.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate. The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy. Ugh, my bad. Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Welcome back, Rams, to Colorado Concerts, the segment where I keep you updated on all kinds of music news, especially that of colorful Colorado. Since our last show, there were two huge music moments, the Rihanna halftime show and the Grammy Awards. For today, I'm going to kick it off with Rihanna's performance, no pun intended. With revealing her second pregnancy, using her own Fenty powder on stage, and having some of the sharpest choreography I have ever seen, I loved it. Did the floating platforms make me a little nervous? Yeah, but I really think it kept the staging simple so we could all focus on the main event, Rihanna in an all-red ensemble amidst a ton of dancing marshmallows. Although I wish she had performed Shut Up and Drive, I think this halftime show was spectacular and definitely showed that she's still an amazing performer, even after releasing her most recent album 7 years ago and having her most recent live performance at the 2018 Grammys. Speaking of the Grammys, this year's award show was a whirlwind. The Record of the Year went to Lizzo, Album of the Year was won by Harry Styles, and Song of the Year was won by Bonnie Raitt. Raitt's victory seemed sort of out of the blue, especially when pit against household names like Beyoncé, Adele, and Kendrick Lamar. But when you look at Raitt's 32 Grammy nominations and 14 wins, it's a little easier to understand. I mean, hey, who says you have to be the most popular singer in the world to win a Grammy? Now, I know what you're thinking. Abby, this is Colorado Concerts. When are we going to talk about concerts in Colorado? Chill. I'm literally about to get to that. As per tradition, starting in 2011, Phish has announced their annual run in Colorado. Over Labor Day weekend, Phish will perform at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City with 4 shows total. This set of shows ends their 2023 summer tour, and general ticket sales begin Friday, March 3rd. As for shows that are coming up a little sooner than that, I've got those covered too. For my fellow classic rock lovers, Bruce Springsteen will be in Denver at the Ball Arena on March 2nd. Steve Aoki will be at the Mission Ballroom on March 9th, so if you or a loved one is experiencing EDM withdrawals, you may want to think about going. Finally, Irish rock band Inhaler is at Summit Music Hall for one night and one night only on March 27th. Sadly, this brings us to the end of Colorado Concerts, but don't go away just yet, as Kyra and I still have all kinds of Fort Collins music news to fill you in on.
Welcome back, everyone. In today's music world, I find it rare to find people who are open about their family and faith. This week, I had the opportunity to sit down with a locally based artist who looked beyond the superficial, and we discussed the hope he'd like to try to inspire through his music.
I'm Esteban Morado. I was born in Boulder. I am 21 years old. I'm a local artist.
Esteban just released his first song on streaming platforms called Peter Pan, and it has a very beautiful meaning.
So I think it was about forgetting all of the negativity in the world. I think a lot of people are walking and going through steady motions and like not really living life to the way that they should be. They're kind of just going through the motions. So the song is really about just taking somebody that you love and escaping all those negativity, those negative feelings and those things, and just escaping with some love and just having nothing but that.
Although his first song just released, his musical journey started when he was a kid with his grandfather.
I remember one moment specifically, and he was playing the guitar. I remember the window was open and the sunlight was just hitting him, and I remember it looked like he was glowing as a kid because I'm looking at him with like just imagination. I'm hearing the guitar strum. I remember it felt like I was literally looking at an angel playing. And so I see how all of these things come full circle, and that was what got me into music. Was I had this guitar in my room, which was my grandpa's all my life. And then finally, like I'm at this low point in my life where I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. There was a lot of praying that followed that. And then after that, like it was almost like the guitar was just shouting at me like, yo, I'm right here. I've always been here, you know? So I think my bloodline, it kind of definitely helps seeing my relatives and people that I love, kind of how the gift just passes through in generations and stuff like that.
Esteban hopes that the music he creates will inspire hope in those who need it, just like music has done for him.
Well, if I look back to my own journey and the way that music has impacted me, I look back and I remember listening to music when I was at a very depressed state in my life, and how much it just spoke to me, and how much it made me feel like I wasn't alone, and how much it made me feel like there was some sort of hope. So I just want my music to have the same impact on others that it's had on me.
Esteban is a really cool guy, and he's definitely someone to keep on your radar local music-wise. I think he's going to do pretty good. And speaking of local musicians, Abby's going to fill us in on some updates about Still Running.
The Ramskeller is a great destination on campus. Located on the bottom floor of the LSC, it's a great place to grab a bite to eat and hear some live music. Still Runnin' is no stranger to CSU's campus and has performed outside the Laurie Student Center.
And we would all love for you guys all to be there, so you guys should come on down and have some fun as well. So thank you guys for just come out.
Inspired by bands like Led Zeppelin and Greta Van Fleet, this rock band has made huge strides since the last time they were in our studio. Still Runnin' has some shows coming up at Aggie Theater, The Coast, and Globe Hall in Denver, and they don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I really like their performance. I got to see it a little bit before our show today, so I think they're doing awesome, and I can see them going pretty far if you were to ask me. But with that, we're headed into a break, but make sure to stick around to hear some of the funnier stories in music recently and find out what instrument I learned how to play this last month. Stay tuned.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's a pleasure to return to your TV screens and introduce you to this entirely new segment on Local Beats.
That's right, Rams. In this new segment, Abby and I will be going over some of the more humorous news in the music industry, with hopes of providing a little laughter. Rapper Pusha T has released a new song. White Lines, the Cocaine Bear remix for the new hit movie Cocaine Bear, which opened at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and came in second at the box office, this weekend only behind Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The song was an instant hit with over 50,000 views during its first 3 days on YouTube. It's no surprise that the same man who released Rib Roast, a diss track on McDonald's, was able to create such masterful track for an equally as masterful film. And I'm so glad that the society is finally taking the time to focus on its finances and attention towards what matters.
On March 10th, Miley Cyrus is set to release her 8th studio album, featuring the hit song Flowers. Her last album, Plastic Hearts, opened at number 2 on the Billboard 100 chart and was extremely well received by her fans. After Plastic Hearts, I'm really excited to see where Miley takes her sound on the album titled Endless Summer Vacation. I feel like the concept of an endless summer vacation has been done before. However, I can't put my finger on where I've seen it.
We had talked about Rihanna's performance a little earlier, but a performance like that, who in the world would mind hearing about it again? Well, apparently that who is the FCC. In an article from the Rolling Stones magazine, the FCC's thoughts about the performance were released to the public members. Most members were discussed, and one even went as far as to say, I really don't want to see 30 background dancers doing pelvic thrust. I'm pretty sure whoever made this quote didn't actually go to the Super Bowl, but rather found themselves at a Pooter High School dance.
The Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney of the Beatles have announced a collaboration coming out at some point this year. According to Variety, Ringo Starr is rumored to be involved as well. I personally think this collaboration is long overdue. It's been far too long since we've seen a song that's target demographic is nursing homes.
Well, if that subject wasn't enough to get you laughing, this next segment should surely do the trick. Over the course of this past month, Abby has been learning how to use the recorder.
I absolutely have, and I also have documented the entire thing. You will see the culmination of a month's worth of dedication, blood, sweat, and tears, all for your viewing pleasure. I hope you enjoy. The recorder is an instrument many of us associate with being in 3rd grade and playing the classic hot cross buttons. However, the earliest documentation of a recorder was in the Middle Ages, which launched its popularity during the Renaissance and Baroque periods. This woodwind instrument has historically been associated with beautiful bird songs, but today, I'm here to ruin that. I've risen to mediocrity in several instruments thanks to my inability to focus on anything for long periods of time, and I believe now the recorder will join the ranks. Can I shred the Wii theme song with such a limited time to learn? I suppose we will find out.
Going into this process, I was pretty confident in my abilities, but I needed to get some outside perspectives. So I called the woman who knows me best, my mom.
I'm not quite sure how well you're going to be able to play the recorder. I don't know, but you have quite an artistic gene, and I feel like you'll probably pick it up a lot quicker than I would.
So with her words of almost encouragement, I decided it was time. As you can see, I am now in a closet. This is to hopefully spare my roommate's ears just a little bit. To start off, I decided to look at a tutorial from Recorder Legend on YouTube, who has 553,000 subscribers. I did not realize at this time how immense the recorder community was. I had to slow down this tutorial to about 1/4 speed as he was playing it quite quickly.
The process is whenever Abby's always playing the recorder always, and since I already told you she's
After my initial practices, my hope to learn this began to diminish. I did not feel like I was getting any better, probably because I wasn't.
And I'm playing video games, and everyone's like, "What's going on, Jillian? Like, what's that horrible noise behind you?" And I'm just like, "It's my roommates." and nobody understands what I'm going through right now. Lord have mercy. About the same time that I was getting really frustrated, so were my roommates. It's just like I'm doing my homework and it's and I'm trying to sleep and it's and I'm playing video games and everyone's like, what's going on, Jillian? Like, what's that horrible noise behind you? And I'm just like, it's my roommates.
Honestly, so far during her practicing, I think she's been a little bit pitchy, but I believe that with, some more practice and attention to detail, that by the end of it, it's gonna be decent.
However, I got back on the horse and I kept working at it, and towards the end, I started to feel a little bit better. I was having notes that were clearer, and I was beginning to pick up speed. I don't know what I'm doing. So close. I can feel it. In all, I figured out that it doesn't matter how childish an instrument may seem, it is always so much more difficult than you think it is. The notes are starting to blend together and all sound the same. I've been practicing for 2 minutes longer than when I last checked the clock. And I don't know if it was because of my overzealous personality or my inflated ego when it came to the recorder, but it definitely put me in check in terms of how musically talented I am. As for the recorder as an instrument, count your days, because I'm coming back for you, and I will learn you. Nope, that was good. We're gonna count that. Okay.
That was probably one of the single most difficult things I've ever done. I didn't realize it was going to be so hard.
I really could not play the recorder myself.
I can't either.
I like to say, this is the thing, I like to say I'm a music enthusiast, not a musician, and there's a reason for that.
I thought, third graders do this. I can do this.
Here's the thing, third graders pick up things easier. Kids do. We got to give it to them for that. But that was really good. Well, it's surely been a blast of a show so far. And the party is not over. Keep yourselves glued to that couch, because up next, Abby and I will be giving you our look into our new music recommendations and take a look at the Rolling Stones' top 5 artists of all time. Stay tuned.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back from the break, Rams, and welcome into our next segment, New Music Recs, where Abby and I give you our favorite songs from this month in hopes of making an impact on your future playlists.
I'm going to start off with a song that I actually found on TikTok, and I originally heard a remix of this song, and I really liked it, so this is Chronically Cautious by Braden Bales.
So if I'm honest, I think I'm beginning to question how much I want this overloaded cereal stress.
That one.
Okay, yeah, the minute that played, I was like, okay, I know.
Yeah.
But that's, you know what? That's the best thing about TikTok. I think some people trash on it a bit because it promotes like influencers instead of artists sometimes. But I really think it gives like artists who would not have a chance originally to just get that chance and really pop off quick. You know?
There's definitely some songs that have come out of TikTok that are really good.
I think David Kushner too. He's got a song coming out. It's
true.
insane. I love TikTok artists personally.
It's
I
really
will,
cool.
You know, shamelessly say that. Okay, next up we're gonna have "Don't Stop the Car" by Blake Rose. I love Blake Rose.
I'm so glad you put this song on here because I had 4 songs. I was trying to narrow it down, and you said you were going to do this one. So I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I got you. And we think on the same page. And Blake Rose, if you like that song, check it out. And other songs by him as well. I saw him in concert a little bit ago. It was amazing. And I definitely cannot wait to see what he'll continue to come out with. He's Australian, too. Fun fact. Yeah.
Speaking of international artists, I originally started as a huge One Direction fan, so of course I had to include Heaven by Niall Horan.
Given.
He popped off with the song.
It
was so good. Like, I don't know, after One Direction had their big split, and I don't know, I stopped listening to them because I was like, in my emo phase and too cool for that. But now that I'm like back into it, this one's on repeat.
Okay,
to be honest.
here's the thing. I really love Niall, but this honestly might be one of my favorite songs by him so far.
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
it. And I liked One Direction, but like on the low key. My dad used to make fun of me when I was younger for liking it. Like,
universal experience.
So now like I feel like I hit my One Direction phase when I was like 17, and now I'm really getting into that Niall phase.
Fair enough, honestly.
They're great. And speaking of some other good singers who are coming out with some good stuff, we got Friday Nights by the 502s.
My past don't scare me anymore. That's who I am.
Yep, so this is another really good band to keep on your radar. The 502s are really popping off, and they're becoming a lot more popular really quick.
Absolutely. So my last one is going to be Hospital by Madison Cunningham and Remy Wolf. This is another artist that I just happened upon, and it's been great to listen to her music.
Yeah, absolutely. Jinx.
With that, we move on to one of my favorite parts of the show, the breakdown. This is where Kyra and I debate music topics and hopefully come to some sort of consensus. Rolling Stones released their top 5 artists of all time, and our thoughts on those certainly vary.
They do.
The top 5 artists went Chuck Berry at number 5, Rolling Stones at 4, Elvis at 3, Bob Dylan at 2, and the Beatles at number 1.
You know what? I'm going to start it off strong by saying I disagree. I think Elvis should be up a little more.
I agree.
And I know that's kind of like a blasphemous thing to say around Abby.
I love Elvis. Anybody who knows me knows my deep dedication to Elvis. And so I think, I don't know. I feel a little controversial putting him at number 1.
It's a little biased. A little biased, one could say.
I don't know. A little biased. If I were to like take away how much I love Elvis, I'd probably put him at number 2. Move down Bob Dylan. I love Bob Dylan, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think
here's the thing, and I know you disagree with the Beatles being number 1.
Yeah.
But I really think they deserve that spot. They changed and I would say started rock and roll. And I think for that
is a crazy thing to say.
I think they started the 70s, 60 kick, to the point where it was. Like you got Queen, the Stones after that. I think and also speaking of Queen, I think they should have been on that list.
Queen should have been way higher.
Yeah. They were like 52.
But
that was a little absurd.
I don't know. The Beatles started the British invasion, so I'll give them credit for that.
The British always invading.
Gotta love it.
It's great, guys. Well, Rams, it looks like that's all we've got for you tonight. We know you have many choices when it comes to how to spend your Wednesday nights, but we're happy you've chosen to spend it with us. And I'm your host, Kyra McKinley.
And I am your host, Abby McPhail. Have a good night.